Hey, hope everybody is doing okay. All right, so real quick before we go through this week, last week, Wednesday night, hurricanes data passed through, and I know I've had several students contact me that you had power outages or other storm-related issues, your internet went out. So the two assignments that were due Sunday, that was the fungi review quiz and the fungi lab. Both of those were due Sunday. I have extended both of those until this Wednesday, November 4th, Wednesday. So they're open until then. If you had issues with the storm, you can do those before Wednesday. If you just forgot, feel free to take advantage of this. Do them before Wednesday. We're at towards the end of the semester, so you don't want zeros in towards the end. All right. Get those done Wednesday. Do it early in the week so that way you can move on to this week's stuff later. All right. So once you've done that and you're caught up, this week we are going to go through Plant Evolution and Diversity Part 1. So we're going to be dealing mostly with simple plants in this lecture, things like ferns and mosses and like nothing really big and complex. So you're going to watch that Part 1 lecture video. And once you have done that, you've got a review quiz, which is due Sunday, November the 8th. All right. You also have a hands-on lab assignment. Lab 6 is on Kingdom Plantae, simple plants, and gymnosperms. So we're going to look at those simple plants, and gymnosperms are things like conifers, non-flowering or non-fruit producing plants. All right. So you know how those go at this point. I know last week the lab was a little different with the fungi, but these are going to be using our lab kit. Look at the source of materials you're going to need. The two main things I wanted to point out is it says conifer cones and strobili. So those are pine cones, or if you have another type of a conifer, and then the male cones are the strobili. You're going to have to find a few of those. So just be aware of that. If you give yourself plenty of time, if you're outside at any point this week, you should be able to find some of those around. Pine trees are fairly common. Just want to give you a heads up so you're not, in your backyard trying to find pine cones Sunday night right before it's due. Also, it says moss specimens, and if you read through the instructions, it says if you can't find moss, you need to go to a store and buy prepared moss and soak it in water overnight so that it can start to grow. Don't do that. You should not have to go through and do that. All right. As much as it has rained recently, and any place that's kind of moist and has a lot of sunlight, you're going to find moss growing around. Same thing. Just don't wait until the last second. Look around and you will find moss. Okay. It really just, you have a magnifying glass in your lab kit, and you're going to observe the moss with your magnifying glass, and you're going to do drawings based on what you see. All right. So please don't go to a pet store and buy like dried out moss or anything. You can do that on your own. Just make sure you give yourself enough time to find that. Okay, so those are both due Sunday, November 8th. If you have any questions on this, let me know, and I'll be glad to help.